real estate because they
Well,
expect
because
that
they
it's
want
going
to
to become
sell it
more
eventually,
desirable.
Michael. I mean, let's be honest. Most of the people who are, yes, sure, some people pass it on to their children, but like most of the people who are buying assets at some point want to sell the assets at a profit. So
Let me say it a different way.
Okay.
People that use fiat currency as a store of value, there's a name for them. We call them poor.
And people are going to stay poor unless they hop on the next narrative, guys. This is the most bullish thing I have ever seen. I just uncovered something late last night. I was doing hours and hours and hours of research into Bitcoin layer 2s. And guys, while I was taking tens of thousands of dollars in profits off AI and DPen with the Discord or the Telegram, you guys know what we've been selling off. I have been buying into this next sector heavily because I believe it is going to pop off towards the Bitcoin halving. Let's go ahead and dive in today, guys. So looking at our Twitter here, if you guys have given me a follow on X, you would know that I believe one of the biggest sectors in the bull run will be Bitcoin DeFi. Now, at the end of this, I'm going to be showing you a brand new altcoin that I did just buy. And actually, I've had a bag of it before, but I just doubled down on the position harder than ever, and I am developing an entirely new crypto watch list at the end of this video, so make sure you guys stick around. But looking at our X, guys, you would know that I've been paying attention to Bitcoin DeFi and layer 2s for weeks, if not months at this point. And we were expecting a massive amount of inflow to come into this market. And this is specifically because Michael Saylor from MicroStrategy, which we just saw call that poor lady poor, ultimately came out and said that they're turning their company into a Bitcoin development company and going to be investing millions of dollars into Bitcoin development. You also had Marathon, though, come out and name that they launched a new service called Slipstream, which is going to be for scaling Bitcoin development and inscriptions. So why is this important? Why do we care about this X? You're like, Josh, you keep talking about this. It's getting annoying. It's getting boring. Because, guys, I have not had this feeling in my body since decentralized science. And that's because one of the companies in the early venture capitalists that I met very early on in DeSci, before anybody knew what it was, and before it did a 100x, we saw multiple 50 to 100x's in our portfolios because of DeSci, and even a 300x. It is what changed our bear market perspectives forever. They are now entering this market, and I'm going to show you where. So, looking at Marathon last night, guys, I decided to go into, of course, their website. I wanted to go look up Slipstream. I was getting very curious. Why are they building this? Why would Marathon Digitals launch a Slipstream service? Wouldn't they invest more? Well, of course, guys, on February 28th, this press release from Marathon Digital Holdings kind of snuck into nothing. I mean, nobody talked about this. There's no creators. I don't know why I'm talking about covering this story. It's been pretty much glossed over very, very lightly, which is Marathon Digital is planning on introducing, not even planning on, they are introducing, okay, Anduro, a new multi-chain Bitcoin Layer 2 network. Yes, Marathon Digital is launching their own Bitcoin Layer 2. This is the company, guys, that is owned heavily by your institutions like BlackRock. You, of course, have Vanguard as well, sitting at 7% of the overall supply or the overall investments. They own 7, 15, 16, 17% of this entire company between Morgan Stanley, Jane Street, of course, State Street as well. You're looking at upwards of 20, 25% of this company being owned by your largest asset managers and banks in the market. This company is investing their money into Bitcoin Layer 2s, and that Bitcoin Layer 2 is called Anduro. This is a multi-chain Bitcoin Layer 2 network, requires no fork. So this is a no soft fork, right? There's no soft fork to Bitcoin. So what does this mean? Well, unfortunately, it does mean that there will be no token launch or pre-sale probably a part of this project. Marathon, BlackRock, they don't need to, right? They are developing the Slipstream service to profit off the Bitcoin ordinals, subscriptions, Rune protocols, all of those that are coming in the coming months. They're going to profit off of it because they're running the mempools. They're also launching 2 side chains on top of this. So if I were to pull up the white paper here, right? Let's go to the Anduro white paper. I, of course, went through this because I wanted to see if there was any alpha. This is the light paper. It just launched in February of 2024. And, you know, of course, there's not going to be a lot of information other than a video that we're going to cover in just a second. But if you scroll through, guys, okay, you got to scroll way down on this white paper. It is going to talk about all the scalability functions. So with Anduro, you're able to develop your own sidechains, your own layers on top of this network that is built by Marathon. Those chains, they already have 2 being built out. You see, Anduro is composed of many multi-purpose sidechains. At launch, the chains target tokenization use cases that uniquely demand the appeal and security of Bitcoin. All chains are open source, meaning they can evolve over time. So the first project is going to be Coordinate, which is a Bitcoin compatible sidechain that is going to be creating, transacting, and trading assets tailored to existing retail DeFi on Bitcoin. So an entire sidechain developed by one of the largest Bitcoin miners in the world, guys, is starting to access this. They're going to help scale novel forms of retail Bitcoin transacting. Ordinals and BRC20s, for one, demonstrated tremendous demand for Bitcoin-linked tokens, but inscription assets suffer from notable user experience gaps. Coordinate's native assets issuance capability, low latency, and low fees make it a better place for inscriptions DeFi. Moreover, Coordinate will become a necessary release valve for times when main chain transacting becomes impossible. So they are starting to build for DeFi. Bitcoin Layer 2s, Bitcoin DeFi is going to be the biggest. And I mean this, guys. I truly believe it's actually going to surpass artificial intelligence and deepen in terms of the amount of volume that's coming into the markets. Here's why. If we continue on throughout this article, let me go ahead and zoom down. We have another sidechain they're developing, which is an Ethereum compatible sidechain. Well, why does this matter, Josh? Well, it's because the Ethereum compatibility is because they believe that tokenizing real-world assets deserves to be on Bitcoin, not ETH. Their target audience is to take all of the ETH users, eventually more than likely Solana, Avalanche, all these altcoin issuers, and move them back into Bitcoin tokenized assets that are natively integrated to Bitcoin's network. That is disclosed more throughout here. So if you guys want to read this article, I would recommend you go look through the light paper and everything on it. But I do have this video from the Bitcoin Renaissance keynote speech that Marathon Digital Holdings on Twitter just tweeted out on March 8th. And again, not a lot of people talking about this, very low views. This is what you want to find in an emergent industry. You guys want to be early to the 100x, 1000x, 10,000x. Well, guess what, guys? Sora Ventures is even claiming that this is the sector that can do it. 100, 1,000, 10,000x opportunity because of this. Now, before we get to Jason Fang, here is what the keynote speaker, Julian Duran, the product manager, I believe he's actually the product lead for these sidechains and Anduro, says at the Bitcoin Renaissance.
Hello, everybody. Nice to see all of you guys. A lot of interest in Bitcoin. My name is Julian. I'm the product lead over at Marathon Digital. And as some of you may know, we recently announced our new Layer 2 initiative. So this is basically me trying to explain where that is coming from and why it's different. Some legalese to start off. And starting now with what the problem is. So this is pretty clear, but DeFi is by and large not happening within Bitcoin, right?
Okay, so I'm going to pause it right there. You want to look at the total value locked on the right-hand side. You'll notice Ethereum, 46.5 billion, and this has gone up in the last few days. Tron, 8.5, BSC, 4.3. And this is actually a little bit older of a metric. It's almost doubled, if not tripled, since this metric that they are using, where it says Bitcoin at 1.7 billion. Now, this is still probably right in the sense that Bitcoin is number 6, but $1.7 billion. Let me go back to this chart I showed you in the beginning. When you compare Bitcoin DeFi to Ethereum, guys, get bullish. All right, there's no reason to not be bullish on this. Ethereum's market cap, which is now roughly like 400 billion, at the time of this of the writing of this article, was sitting at $76 billion in terms of total value locked, or 28% of the overall market cap. And compared to Bitcoin, which is now just accessing DeFi, the DeFi, guys, is what's under the water. So this is Ethereum, this is Bitcoin, DeFi. So if I put D down here, this is the DeFi. This is the untapped potential of Bitcoin's economy, equating to roughly 238, or what today would be worth over $500 billion. So even if Bitcoin was at a $2 billion TVL or an $8 billion TVL, we're talking a 100x potential in the overall industry size. So you better believe there are going to be massive gainers coming out of this sector. So moving on to, of course, the next bullish outcome
happening
of
on
this.
Other chains.
He speaks
but
on, well, where the
not
TVL
all DeFi
setting.
comes equal, right? There's different types of decentralized financial products and decentralized financial use cases, and we believe the institutional one is perhaps one of the most important, specifically RWAs. And our
Boom! And there it is, guys. He goes on to say they're not launching their tokens, etc., but they believe in Bitcoin development, and they believe they need to bridge the gap between RWAs on Ethereum and all these other networks. It's a 7-minute long interview here, or keynote speech. You should definitely watch through it, but believes that RWAs, one of the biggest narratives currently today, need to come to Bitcoin because it's the most secure, it's the oldest, it's the best, it has the most volume, it has the most liquidity, the whole nine. And that is why they believe DeFi and Bitcoin layer 2s are going to scale on top of Bitcoin. Now, of course, Marathon comes out and they say, you know what, we don't need our tokens. Well, it's because they're the largest Bitcoin miner in the world, guys. They make money off the mempool transactions. They make money off all of the backend, and they're invested into by your world largest asset managers. But that is not where the money stops, right? If we look here, Jason Fang is someone who I've followed for a very long time. You can see in his bio, founder at Sora Ventures, investing into Bitcoin, DeFi, and ordinals. This is one of the OGs in decentralized science. When you go look at Sora Ventures, which has about 10,000 followers on Twitter, massive Asia-based investment firm, their first projects they've invested into are massive. They are the ones that have seen 10,000x opportunities on DeFi. Right here you have Molecule, which I do believe will launch a token one day. VitaDAO, one of the largest decentralized science protocols in the world. If we scroll down, you have Bitcoin Startup. So they're starting to already invest into these when you're just looking at their homepage here. You have Xverse, one of the largest Bitcoin wallet apps. You also have Bitcoin Inc., The Block, Immutable X, Origin Protocol, Number AI. You have Mainframe, Pendle Finance, all projects we've spoken about. Casper Labs, they were the early investors into all of these, and now they're tapping into, of course, BRC20s and what will be Bitcoin Layer 2s. So here's an article coming from Coinbase or Cointelegraph. It was just released on February 28th. Also incentivizing that Bitcoin Layer 2 staking offers a superior alternative to interest rates. The reason why I wanted to just display this article was that, of course, Cointelegraph and news outlets, guys, it's just now ramping up. You're early. If you guys are somebody that always goes, man, I'm always late to the market, Josh, this is your time. Start researching Bitcoin Layer 2s and the development around DeFi from Rune's protocol that's launching on the Bitcoin halving, as well as the Nakamoto upgrade happening for stacks on the Bitcoin halving, and then just the overall Bitcoin halving. I can't be more bullish. Going back here, guys, we have Filecoin announcing that they had a huge partnership with BVM. So another massive integration. Filecoin is a storage layer. Thanks to Lighthouse Web 3, this integration marks a significant enhancement for Bitcoin Layer 2 solutions powered by BVM and Filecoin. Filecoin is now entering the Bitcoin Layer 2 space with BVM. BVM, of course, is going to be a launch pad, essentially. It's a launch pad, I believe, for Bitcoin Layer 2, so it's a Bitcoin Layer 2 as a service. This is where you come and develop and deploy your own decentralized applications and Bitcoin Layer 2s. It's decentralized the underlying infrastructure for that, the Layer 1, so to speak. You have Alpha Chain, Naka Chain, Arcade Chain, Intern AI, and Swamps already launching on these, and you can see that they provide DeFi use case for ordinals. You have SocialFi, so this is going to be your decentralized social media, GameFi, Crypto AI, and then the SRC trading here, which is all things that are starting to develop. Now, another project that is starting to break out here, or actually, we have another capital firm. Here we guys go. Look at this. ARK Capital talking about Bitcoin Layer 2s. I think I accidentally clicked off of the stream here. ARK Stream Capital as well, right here. Last Thursday, we successfully hosted our first Twitter space exploration and breakthrough of Bitcoin Layer 2. Here's a recap of the amazing content from the space. And they had a stream, of course, with Merlin, one of the largest Layer 2s on Bitcoin, O'Daily China, massive news outlets and individuals that are in the industry, just showing that there's more sparked interest in the crypto industry for Bitcoin DeFi. You have DeFi Llama shouting out Naka Chain, another Bitcoin Layer 2 with 2-second blocks and microtransaction fees. It's coming. Every single day I click on Twitter, guys, there's more and more announcements in this industry. There's more and more products starting to be launched, and it's all going to scale with the 3 massive upgrades coming at the Bitcoin halving I keep speaking to you guys about. You need to start learning. I know I'm like forcing this down your guys' throats, but this is why I'm picking up cryptos. This is why I bought a brand new altcoin. That altcoin I'm going to get to in 2 more seconds. You just need to bear with me. To kind of wrap this up here, guys, CoinGecko has announced that on March 7th, this is from March 7th, they put out an article as well on Bitcoin L2s. And the reason why I'm making this video is because I have a huge announcement to the fact that CoinGecko launched a very trash portfolio. I mean, this is the watch list for Bitcoin Layer 2s. it doesn't cover nearly anything. And this is just what gives me those same vibes and those same feelings around DeSci, because I developed the first ever decentralized science watch list on CoinMarketCap before CoinGecko or, of course, CoinMarketCap ever made them. I made it about a year before. And today, I am making that same watch list for you guys right now. So I'm putting together right now an entire watch list. You'll be able to find it in my Telegram or the Discord that will have a full kind of breakdown of the products I'm watching. I can actually click on it right here. So here's my JJ's watch list, Bitcoin ecosystem. So in this ecosystem, I'm going to be putting in all the products that are on CoinMarketCap that are part of this narrative, layer 2s and Bitcoin DeFi. Now, of course, guys, there's products on here that are really small caps. I'm just putting all the projects that I can find into this. It is just a watch list. So don't take this as financial advice. Take this as your research index. This is where you get to start learning about the favorite products. My favorites are Stacks, of course, Alex, of course, Orange is up to 60 cents. We're almost up 100%. OrdiSwap, though, guys, is the gameplay I'm going to tell you about here. So sitting at about a $50 million market cap, 20 cents, this is the project I put about another 10 grand into. I have a lot. I'm a pretty big holder of ORDs here, but ultimately I am believing could actually replace DEXs as the Uniswap of Bitcoin in comparison of Uniswap to Ethereum. So I do believe there's going to be massive volume here. It is a DEX. They can aggregate all the information between your BRC20s, your ordinals, your inscriptions, etc. And there's going to be more and more updates leading up to, of course, the Bitcoin halving. But right now, they do hold themselves as that standard for one of the largest DEXs on top of Bitcoin. Of course, you got many other products that will be launching and coming soon with the BVM. Of course, you have all the launch pads that are taking place right now, like BFi, or I think there's Atomic through MintLayer. MintLayer is another favorite project of Bitcoin Layer 1 and Layer 2s out there. Charlie Shrem is an advisor, I believe, for MintLayer. He's also an advisor, or actually not MintLayer. Maybe it was Rune's Terminal. Maybe it is MintLayer as well. A lot of Bitcoin OGs that are in these markets, and you want to start paying attention to these today, guys. Other than that, that's really all I got for you guys. Make sure you smash that like button on your way out and share this with a friend that needs to get ahead of trends, guys. The trend is your friend. Stop coming into these trends once every creator on the planet already talks about them. We've been developing, we've been researching, we've been learning, we've been getting you guys ready for Bitcoin DeFi summer. This is a thing that might actually take place in dwarf artificial intelligence and DePIN. Other than that, guys, well, I mean, really, I have no way to end this other than saying I'll see you at the top.